Bungie is back, but not with Destiny, it's Marathon this time, and this week we got a first look at gameplay and how the game is shaping up. Marathon is a team-based extraction shooter set to drop later this year. Whether you're cautiously optimistic, or you've just seen the trailer, here's some of the stuff we've learnt so far and why I think it has potential. So Marathon is launching this September the 23rd, 2025 to be precise. And it's the same day as Borderlands 4, which could be a risky move, but I believe they've probably done that to avoid the inevitable GTA 6 launch later this year, as have many companies, which is sooner than I thought, to be honest. I thought it might have been next year, but it looks like we're getting it this year, which is good. One thing that has caused a lot of controversy is the $40 price tag, or rumored $40 price tag, should I say, which means it's not free to play, but it's not full price either. I think this could be a tough tell to casual players or getting people to even just try the game. Perhaps even if they're on the fence, I think that entry point could put people off, especially if the game does feel bare bones at launch. Now, that could potentially happen. We saw that with Destiny. When that launched, it took a few months, if not years, to really settle in, which that's the only concern I really have with this. Are people going to be willing to give Bungie that much time to really get Marathon up and running? They did say they're going to work very closely with the community, and I know a lot of video games at the moment, they do release kind of in an unfinished state. It's very common. We've seen that a lot over the years, especially recently. But I just hope that Bungie has enough in their game, Marathon, to entice people to part with their money and get the ball rolling, because that could be a potential downfall for the game. Although other extraction shooters like Hunt Showdown, Tarkov, they are also paid, so you never know. It could work for them. Personally, I don't mind paying it. I mean, I have faith in Bungie. I think they'll deliver, especially on the gunplay, if anything else. But we'll see how that pans out. They could potentially change their mind, but it seems pretty set in stone at this point. I think Bungie's hope is that they'll build a lot of the game through feedback from the community. Whether this is the right approach or not, we're yet to see. I think it could be a risky strategy if they don't have enough on launch to entice people to commit the time to play the game or part with the money, so to speak. So Marathon is a PvPvE extraction-based shooter. So think of like a more casual Tarkov. Kind of Tarkov meets Apex Legends is the best way I could probably describe it from what I've seen in the trailers. Each run features teams of 3 with up to 18 players per match. There is no solo queue. You can load into the game solo, but you will be paired with teams of 3 and the difficulty will be the same. So there is no dedicated solo mode. That could change, of course. We still have time before the game launches, but as of now, that is the way it is. There'll be 3 maps at launch. Those maps, I believe, are Perimeter, Dire Marsh, and Outpost, with a 4th map set to be released during Season 1. Now, this is rumored to be the Marathon map, or the Marathon ship map, should I say, which could feature raid-like mechanics, puzzles, bosses, and I think the bosses drop artifacts. I've heard from other videos and interviews with the devs that people have been doing over the last few days, so that could be really interesting. That could be the hook that Bungie needs to differentiate themselves from other extraction shooters. I think a lot of people have been talking about, well, what's the hook? What's gonna put Marathon apart from all the other games? That's obviously something I'm hoping we haven't seen yet, because there's nothing really that's been shown that is that drastically different. It hasn't got that Bungie sauce, so to speak. So I'm hoping that we see that over the coming months after the alpha. Hopefully a beta launches as well. I think that was mentioned, so that could be interesting. This could be where Bungie really brings something unique to the genre, you know? I'm really looking forward to seeing how this Marathon map shapes up, because from what I've heard from some of the people that have played it, they seem quite excited, so we'll see. There is no skill-based matchmaking. Instead, it will be based on your runner level and your experience in game. It supports full cross-play and cross-save between PC and console, very similar to how Destiny has been for the last few years, which is great. And I believe that mouse and keyboard will also have its own form of aim assist to kind of balance between controller and keyboard. There's been a lot of games that have had that sort of discord between aim assist on controller being too strong, especially on games like Warzone, for example. I think Bungie can get that right and balance that from the offset. That'll be great. It's good that they've considered that. I think Halo Infinite has it. I don't know much about it, but it seems to work for them, so let's see how that turns out. Now, I think one of the biggest requests from a lot of people, or what they've said so far, is there's no VOIP. In a lot of these extraction games, you obviously can interact with other players that aren't necessarily on your team, and it can create some really unique moments, and I think Bungie have they've decided not to go there, not to go for that, and I think that might be something that puts people off. I think it's kind of not essential, but I think it'll be a really good addition to the game. Bungie says it's for player safety, I assume to avoid toxicity. Hopefully they reconsider and they put it in the game as like a toggle system where if you don't want to hear it, if you don't want it on, you can just turn it off. You have contracts in game. These are like your tasks that you'll be given from different factions. You'll be able to take one contract on each run, so you can't stack them. You can only take one at a time. And these are tied to one of the 6 in-game factions. I think what's really cool that I've seen on another video, or I've seen mentioned on another video, is that you can see other people's contracts, so you know what they're going for, which I think is a really cool addition. I think that's a really good way of seeing what other people's objectives are in-game without necessarily communicating with them. If you're playing with randoms, for example, you'll be able to see what contracts they have, which I think is a really nice addition. I think we can expect cosmetics in-game and perhaps a battle pass. Now, Bungie haven't mentioned any details about any of this so far, but I think it's safe to say that we'll be getting those in-game. I'm hoping that you'll be able to earn some of the cosmetics through playing the game as well, and I hope that these are like modular, so kind of like in Destiny where you can change your helmet, you can change the chest piece or the legs, for example, and you can switch it up. I think that'll be a really nice addition if they could do that instead of just having one flat skin. I know they really want to focus on the characters still looking like the characters, like the silhouettes, for example, so you know what the other team are running. But I'm kind of hoping that we get a lot of customization with these because I think they could look really cool, especially with the art style. It's also been mentioned that we get roadmaps. Now, it's one thing Bungie's usually quite good at doing, especially with Destiny. Throughout the years, we've had roadmaps of what's coming up, even though there might have been big gaps in between some of those. We at least know that something is coming, which I think is really great, especially if they are taking a lot of the community's feedback. It'll be great to see what's changing, what's coming up, what to expect. It's good to know that the game is alive and well and what's happening in the future. They also mentioned on the reveal stream that there will be an alpha. This is a closed alpha on April 23rd, which is next week or in a few days even. This is North America only, unfortunately, so I won't be able to play. Anyone in Europe who won't be able to play. But some good news, Bungie did actually announce today that they will be lifting the NDA, so you will be able to stream the game, which is pretty cool. Be able to see live streams showcasing the gameplay and giving your feedback. Hopefully in the not too distant future we get another alpha or a beta that Europe can get involved in. I'm sure this is probably due to server side stuff without kind of overloading their servers. They just want to test it on the servers they have got at the moment. It'll be interesting. Hopefully we hear more news of it being open up to more people sometime soon. They also mentioned that the weather in game can be dynamic to a point where, you know, the weather can change to raining. I think there's like thunderstorms perhaps. These can give you sort of in-game buffs and debuffs depending on the weather, I guess. I think the one that I heard on one of the videos was that rain, for example, can reduce the cooldown of your stamina, which I believe they call their heat, the heat bar. So that can be reduced through the cooling effect of the rain, so to speak. I'm sure there's more. I haven't heard any, but I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I know a lot of people, especially Destiny players, are kind of crying out for a PvE only mode. I think Marathon is quite clear on where they want this game to go. This game isn't necessarily designed for Destiny players. I think it's designed for a different kind of audience. That's not saying that some Destiny players won't enjoy this, because they will. There is no PvE only mode. It's a PvPvE, so there will be PvE elements in the game, but I think a lot of the tension will come from the PvP moments akin to other extraction shooters. So yeah, that's just a rough breakdown of some of the stuff that I've heard so far. There's probably loads more. There's stuff kind of coming out every day about this, but there are a few of the points that I thought were quite interesting. I'm genuinely excited for Marathon. I absolutely love the art direction. It's bold, stylized, and it kind of moves away from that super realistic military style that we've seen from a lot of other extraction shooters. I think it looks great. It kind of reminds me of the Clovis Bray environments from Destiny 2. Clean lines, vivid colors, but still kind of got that eerie feel to it. I think visually it's doing its own thing, and that alone kind of keeps me intrigued by the game. That being said, though, I really hope the final release leans more into the style that we saw in the cinematic, which still had that bold, colorful visuals, but kind of had a grittiness to it, had more atmosphere, more weight to the world. It almost looks a bit too clean for my liking. Gunplay, without a doubt, looks solid. It's classic Bungie. It looks like it has that kind of tactile Destiny feel, which I absolutely love. And personally, I think we've only scratched the surface. I feel like they've held stuff back. Now, I might be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, but I feel like they've held stuff back, and I really feel like they haven't really shown us what their unique selling point is in terms of extraction shooters. What is the thing that's going to hook people in? And I really think this Marathon ship map could be the answer with the raid mechanics, the puzzles, etc, etc. They've obviously been very secretive about this. It's probably still in early stages of development, but I think this could be the thing that pulls people in if it's done right. So I'm kind of intrigued to see more of that. One of my biggest concerns, and I think this was mentioned in SkillUp's preview when he interviewed some of the devs at Bungie, that there is no story written for the game yet, and I think this is a bit of a red flag. It's not really that long away, and they haven't started writing the story. I don't think this is a great look, especially from fans of the 1994 Marathon game, or games even. They're very passionate fans of the game and the lore, and from what I hear, the lore is quite extensive. So for them not to use that to their advantage, or not have used it yet, it's a bit concerning. But we'll see. Hopefully they can get something in place, and it's not just a situation where... I think my worry is there's going to be a situation very similar to the Grimoire cards in Destiny 1, for example, where we had to read the lore through like an external website or YouTube videos, and that's kind of how it seemed to be said in the SkillUp interview. So I'm really hoping it doesn't go that way, because I think if we could get some story beats that were even just small cutscenes or something really interesting, I think that would be great. But we'll have to see how they handle that, because I think having like a small paragraph on a piece of paper that you find in the game, I don't think that's enough for people that are interested in that side of the game. So hopefully they can pull that one out the bag, but that's one of my concerns with this, I think. Overall though, I am pretty hopeful for this game. I know there's been a lot of discourse online, as there seems to be with every game that's released these days, but for me personally, I'm looking forward to the game. I think it has a lot of potential. I really liked the cycle when that was about. That was great. I also play a bit of Hunt Showdown, which I think is one of the best on the market at the moment. And if Marathon hits that sweet spot between hardcore and accessible, and it has a good launch, it could be something special, and I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing more over the next few months as the game continues to develop. But thanks for watching. This is my first long form video like this, so if you liked it, then please leave a like. If you didn't, then don't bother, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, if you liked it, let me know. I'm planning on doing some more Marathon content in the future. But yeah, let me know what you think of Marathon. What are your thoughts and feelings? Are you excited? Are you cautious about the game? Are you a Destiny fan that's worried about it getting in the way of Destiny development? Let me know. But yeah, thanks again, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. See you later.